I would like to apologize to the camera, folks. I'm going to make you work very hard. I like to move around a bunch. Hasn't this been great so far? Let's hear it for the Andes. Let's hear it for the Andes. The mountains. That's what I'm talking about. The Andes. No, let's hear it for these Andes. Andy Bayo just caught me laughing at my own joke backstage. And was like kind about it. Literally went like, do you ever laugh at your own joke? And I'm like, oh, because you're seeing me do it right now? Yes, I do. I'm doing it right now. Gosh, that was so... This has been such a great opening. This has been such a great opening, right? Don't you have vision now? Don't you want all that green space? I do, and it's very nice of you to have invited me here. I know you each individually invited me, and thank you so much for that. Because I am flying from here to London tomorrow to go perform there, and I was going to fly directly from LA, but now because I'm here, I get to fly over the Arctic, which just seems more interesting. So that's on you. I am so happy. I'm so happy that you got a chance to see that. It was really important to me that you saw a clip of what we were able to do with Rape Jokes, because I'm going to talk to you about that specific project. And I think that based on what I know about you, based on the fact that you're here, that you will think it's really, really cool. Just a bit about me. I don't know if you know anything about me, but I'm a stand-up comic, I'm a writer, I'm an actor, I'm a creator of television shows. I'm an interesting and successful person. I based on haircut and jacket, do very well in Portland usually. I was speaking to Andy prior to coming here, and he mentioned to me that it felt different to do this conference now with the political system that we have, with the folks that we have in power. And I will just say that part of the pitch was like, if you can, talk about what it is to be an artist now. And I first of all, I will say, as a human, this doesn't feel the same as it did a couple of years ago when we had a different president. To me, as a person, as a queer person, this does not feel the same. But I will say, as an artist, I want to first start by saying I have always been marginalized. I have always been marginalized. I am a woman in a field where I literally get asked on an almost daily basis whether or not I think I can do the job I regularly get paid to do. As a queer person, folks ask me if they think I can speak to a straight audience. That is not something that is ever asked of me as an audience member when a straight man is on stage describing his life to me. Just so you know, I sometimes find straight men relatable. And sometimes not, but I challenge myself to understand what's outside of my own experience. I've always been marginalized. I also have always had an enormous amount of privilege. I'm a white person. I am somebody who is kind of small and smiley. I'm not necessarily going to scare you, even if this is my lapel pin, which is a tiny rainbow flag. And then I'll smile at the end. You look at that, and then right up here. I have a lot of privilege. I grew up in the suburbs, for Christ's sake. Like, we get it. But this moment for me as an artist doesn't feel that different. And I just want to say that because I look out at you, I see so many folks that maybe like this feels like a real shock. Like, I can't believe we have this president, and how am I supposed to do my job right now? And I want to just say, if you're somebody for whom this feels like a real shock, then I would actually ask you to imagine that there are other people working around you who have always been working with opposition, and who have been always working against a system, as opposed to within it. And that has really been my experience. So this moment right now doesn't feel that different. Okay, well then why have you chosen to do your job? I don't know. I was raised really Catholic. I thought I wanted to be a priest. I was a theology major in college. Whoopsie daisy, Catholic, you're a woman, you can't be a priest. Well, I don't know what I thought was gonna happen. The Pope was gonna be like, you can though. And I don't know. how that would have played out. Also, then I learned some stuff about the Catholic Church and like, oops, no, actually, no, thank you. But what did speak to me was talking about what I think is important, hearing what you think is important, and trying to connect in that. So growing up as a person of faith, when I lost my faith, I still found power in connection and in speech. I mean, literally, I'm like, I'm not a priest, but I mean, this is like a different collar, but like it's a collar. Like I never wear a collarless shirt because that's disgusting. That's just a gender thing. Like it really is. I can't. It's like nudity. You know what I mean? But I can wear shorts. It doesn't matter. There's a lot of different ways that we're different. So. I went to get my master's in social work because I really felt like talking to people and meeting them where they are was important to me. At the same time that I was already into my comedy career and thought I would just get a master's on the side. And there was a returning student in my program who was like, that's not how any of this works. You don't have to get a master's on the side. Why don't you just do the job you're already doing? So the way that I do art now is the way that I have always done art, which is under a singular thesis, which is that art dismantles power, otherwise it is propaganda. So, wow, what a good point she's made. I know, I thought of that. It's like, I don't even think I've read that. I think I thought of that. And I don't have to tell you that in the last couple of years, specifically in the last 18 months, there has been a movement. I live in Los Angeles now. I'm from Chicago, but I live in Los Angeles, and I love Los Angeles. The industry that I work in has allowed me the freedom to continue to do this job. Like, I love my job, and I love traveling and seeing you, and I love living in Los Angeles because I get to do this job. It's like you move to Washington, D.C. If you're into politics, you move to L.A. if you want to wear this jacket and have the jacket get nicer over time because of accrued income. So I do find community in LA. I do find a lot of queer folks. I find that I have been able to redirect, to be like a stone in the water and redirect money. When I had a television show, Take My Wife, it was very important to me to hire women, people of color, queer folks, and the many combinations thereof, and to redirect money, but also experience toward folks who I thought I could leave the door open for behind me. As I got in, I just wanted to push people through. But the last 18 months, oh, sure, you can clap for me. I'm like, God, how did she do all of this? You know, like. But in the last 18 months, as I have watched, folks mourn the loss of artists who have revealed themselves to be predators. That has been very difficult for me because I have believed that we just didn't know. Like, I actually thought that the reason that people got a pass wasn't necessarily because of the power structure, but because we just didn't. It's a they said issue, and we just didn't have the facts. And now that we have the facts, and specifically in my industry, folks openly saying, like, oh, I've done these terrible things. And I have seen folks that I care about, my peers, I have seen audience members mourn the loss of these artists that they deem the best in our field. Art dismantles power, otherwise it's propaganda. There is no great artist who is an abuser. Straight up. It's just true. Because the things that they are telling you about our human failures, they're supposed to be human failures that don't do active harm to another. So that person is not a great artist. They are a liar, whoever they are. And when I saw folks around me focusing on the narrative of our loss of these artists, and not once mentioning the survivors of these terrible things. Like, that's where my mind went. I am a survivor of sexual assault. When I think about somebody perpetrating harm onto another, I don't think about that person. Like, they kind of leave my mind. I think about the person who has been harmed and then has to continue to do their job every day. The person who's been harmed, especially if it's sexual violence, who then has to continue to date or marry or have desires or look at their own body in the mirror, because assault and sex are not the same thing, but they can look the same thing. They can look like the same thing from 20 feet or from 200 feet. I just couldn't understand why we weren't talking about that more. So I started to go out on the road and just work in really small rooms. I booked theaters to do a 100-seat run of shows in 8 different cities, and I worked it out in front of audiences over 3 months, this show, because I felt an urgency to make sure that it got out there before we heard somebody's comeback story. And by the way, I actually did that. I just have to say, like, time-wise, I actually was able to achieve that. Because I saw that we were going to talk about our loss of artists or any particular artist, and I knew that we were just going to continue that loop. It was going to be like, oh God, did you hear what they did? And like, now they have to go away for a while, and like, should they come back? And they're back. And I needed just for a second to see if I could get anything into that cycle. So I worked on this. I did 50 shows in 3 months, which is a very, very rigorous schedule. And then I knew I needed to figure out how to get it to you. And so this is what I did. I asked my friends, the people that I trust, if they would donate their time, which, by the way, creator to creator, do not fucking do this. You get one ask. You get one ask for a freebie. I asked my friends, in 6 days at the UCB Theater in Los Angeles, the UCB donated their space. I had a camera crew of 4 camera people. Folks donated their time. We shot, edited, color corrected, added music to this special. There was lighting design, there's makeup, there was photography so that we can make principal photography. We created a website with like a proprietary web player in it, and all of that cost $2,500, which I can't explain to you how unbelievably low that is. Literally, we like paid to rent lights. That's all the money that I put out. Because I asked my friends to please support me in telling my story so that I could redirect the funds to RAINN. Andy mentioned 60. We're like at 72 right now, and my goal is $100,000. Which, by the way, I actually think sounds small. We live in this era of fundraising where it's like, click on this thing. And we also live in an era of YouTube and videos that play automatically or accrue a ton of hits and a ton of views. And so I want to talk to you about how proud I am about that number. It just lives, this special just lives on my website, CameronEsposito.com. You have to actually go to my personal website. There is no network, there is no marketing budget, there was no player or platform. You literally have to like type in the web address or click on it, and enough folks went there, you can watch it for free. There is no reason to donate. It plays for free if you just press the button. You can also choose to buy it for $10, and $75,000 raised for literally no reason on someone's personal website that nobody has to go to is incredible and speaks to me about how we should actually feel right now. I know who is president, but if you want to talk about what our power is like, I knew all the folks to ask because I have been working in my industry for a very long time. I knew who would be receptive to this ask because of the topic. I knew where to go and what venues I could reach out to and say, like, can you put this together in 5 minutes? And I also knew the pitch that I wanted to give. I wanted to call it Rape Jokes, which is literally like when people started seeing that title, they got very nervous. But That's because I wanted to be the #1 Google result for the phrase rape jokes. I wanted the #1 Google result for that phrase to not be like an article about like a comic who like told a crappy, not well thought out joke and then had a fight with an audience member. I wanted it to be, from me, someone who believes you, somebody who has had this experience, wants to share my experience. I wanted it to be from somebody who is inviting you in. It is for free. And we've achieved that goal. It's like the #1 result, and I'm very proud of that. So when we talk about the time that we're in right now, I just want to say, like, well, I mean, I'm not coming at this from like a nonsensical place. Like, you all know what I mean, right? Like, the constant barrage of sadness, the feeling of uselessness that we're all shouldering right now. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know what I'm talking about, XOXO? Have you ever felt that way? Specifically, like on a daily basis, /hourly, /minute by minute? I have disengaged from social media since doing this process, because I will say one thing that I didn't think about was how awful it would be to do a press tour on the topic of your own sexual assault. Like, I just didn't think that if you make that and it goes well, then people are going to talk to you about rape for 8 hours a day for a month. So, friends, self-care. I would recommend that. But I want to just encourage you to look at this moment. That all of the stuff that I just talked about would not have been possible for me, because I'm not you. I'm a technology idiot. Wouldn't have been possible for me a year ago. Wouldn't have been possible maybe 2 years ago, in terms of creating this social change, because we had to see the pain first before we could apply the balm. So in this moment, what I would encourage you to look at is, what is the plan that you can make and actualize? And it can be any plan. I wrote down some words about how I think it best goes, but I made this up for only this. So I have to look at them. Oh, the first one is engage. When I went on the road and toured this before releasing it, that was deliberately to have folks see it as it was being worked out, because I wanted folks to see the process in front of them. I know that if you're working on something new, the idea can be to keep it behind closed doors until it is perfect. And I just want to encourage you, creator to creator, artist to artist, to let some of your awful shit show. Because I actually think that, especially now in this era of like going back and cleaning up tweets that we didn't mean to say, or getting better all the time, that the urge can be to wait until something is perfect until it is out. And I really think that is the wrong inclination. So if you are wondering if you have the stuff like today to start something, my answer to you is yes. Like, let your garbage show. Sometimes people will even love you for it. Follow up. Yes, I've made a very good point. I agree. The next thing that I wanted to talk about is, beyond engaging folks with your vulnerability, also inviting folks to build on what you are doing. I am not the smartest person in this room. I don't know who is. I'm probably the second smartest. But I always assume that there are other people that I can learn from, and inviting them into the projects that I work on will make that project better. Again, when we talk about how we operate in the world as creators, it's like you're supposed to be the one ring that can rule all of the rings, but that ring went into a volcano. So if you want, and success is like a loaded word, to achieve the goals that you set for yourselves. I find that inviting partners is very important. So inviting places like the UCB Theater, I tape there for free. Then it turns out they are also engaged in the process. I recently released like a pin that says "Get in the Way," which is a phrase from Rape Jokes that I collaborated with an LA-based designer, and she has it on her website. So her website, and it sold out in like 3 hours, so we'll do another run and you can buy it then. But then her website refers back to Rape Jokes. So if you're gonna just like do something stupid, like put an hour of stand-up on your own website, great to reach out and create partnerships. Invite other people in to affect the thing that you think is right. And the final thing is to ask. So like, you're gonna engage people by showing them your garbage, you're going to invite people to improve your garbage, and then you're going to ask people to tell other people what you are doing. Like, I'm literally gonna ask you right now. Our goal, I mean, I worked it out, literally, like, if you all donated, if literally everyone in this room went on and bought Rape Jokes at $11, we would reach our goal tonight. So just to say that. I don't care. But let's say $11 is too high a price point for you. I'm not actually saying that to talk down to you. Like, I understand the hustle. If that is too high a price point, you talking about this special, that is for free. And the engagement of the people that follow you on social media, that is for free. So all you have to do is tweet about it, and it turns out you can also help me achieve my goal. So look at this. I'm asking you to step in and for us to do this together. I hope that those things, I don't know what your individual fields are, but I hope that realizing that you can reach out to a community, even if you're a marginalized person who feels like they don't have an inherent place in their field, which is how I feel. There is so much room to occupy a space that's never been taken. That is what I learned from this process and from like every project that I work on, is how much space other folks haven't thought of, and how many things I can do to change the industry that I'm in. So, do that. I feel like I had like a big wrap up, but I wish you could see also how my notes look. This is what it was. I would encourage you, and I loved hearing about the pronoun pins and folks talking about accessibility. I would encourage you also for this weekend to think about the way you impact the work that you do. I think that we are being sold an idea from two different sides politically right now. The same idea. Which is that identity, caring about your identity, presenting your identity, and working from your identity is a detriment to your job. Like, for instance, the phrase identity politics could like go away forever, in my mind, because we all operate from a space of identity politics. It's just that if your identity is more normative, your identity is invisible. But everybody that is going to be here this weekend, you have this great opportunity to recognize that literally, geographically where you are from, what your schooling might or might not be, the way that you move through the space because of the way that your body works, how you look because of your haircut, all of that is so impactful in the work that you do. And one thing that I have been told for my entire career that I have always known was wrong is that I am too into my identity, right? That I'm like too gay, I'm too haircut, I'm too feminist. And I am just here to tell you that that is not true, that every person in here has an individual identity that is very important for you to focus on and own. And I am also speaking to folks whose identity is very normative and very seen. What I would hope for you over the rest of your weekend, because you have access to each other, is that you realize that like there's going to be some amazing speakers that flew here like just for the night on their way to London, and that's going to be great. But the best asset that you have, and I've even proven it out in talking about the way that I worked on specifically that special, is each other. And maybe this is something somebody else has talked about at a different XOXO. I don't know. I didn't watch the entire backlog. But I'm going to go away. The Andys are going to go away. Like, you might have access to us at a future conference, or you might have access to us over social media, but I'm on stage and you're together. And you are all people who care about the same thing because you all paid to be here. So what I would recommend is to like listen to this and then like go back and just be like, I don't know, she was kind of shitty, or like whatever you're gonna say to each other, and use that as a way to talk about the work that you do, the way your identity shapes that work, and what you are looking for. Because those things that I just talked about, that engagement and that invitation and that asking, what you can do with this weekend is set that up for yourselves with each other. You literally are each other's best asset and best resource. So turn to the people next to you as I walk off stage, not before I see you turning. Comment on my insightful nature. And then ask each other what you do and what you want to do next. And I promise you that will be more valuable than literally anything I could say. Okay, the end.